Hi, welcome back to the next stirring installment of Follet, the video book. Today we're going to read the second part of chapter 18, and strangely enough, there is nothing untoward in this chapter, in the part we're going to read today. What's up with that? But there probably will be next time, so sit back, relax, and enjoy this one. And remember, you can buy a copy. Yep. Just look at the Amazon link that's in the comment underneath this post, and you'll be able to order yourself up a paperback or an ebook copy, whichever you prefer. So if you're ready, here we go. Tonight, Fobator said, we'll let WINC tell us the news, and he turned on the little radio on the counter next to the sink. And the little radio crackled and sang in the unmistakable voice of Dr. John. Some battles I've lost, some battles I've won, but from no battle I've ever run. War is hell. Hell is for I do what I do 24. I'm a dream warrior sleeping with my soul. I'm a samurai for the holy lost cause of the rivers and the bayous and the fishing holes. Louisiana born, Louisiana bred, Louisiana gree from the number 9 grave. Now you want to be messing, you want to fight? Close your eyes, I'll see you tonight. I'm a dream warrior. I'm going to turn that laughter into screams, make you face who you are every night in your dreams. I'm a dream warrior sleeping with my sword. But you know me. I can't let that slide. Go on, take off your coat and tie, lay down your head on your pillow. I'll be by. I'm the dream warrior sleeping with my sword. He wrote that about Katrina, Fobator told him, but it's just as appropriate here and now. And the DJ broke in. Our brothers and sisters are cleaning up the carnage in the Dream Suite on the 8th floor of the Royal Orleans. Dreams torn apart and nightmares shattered. It's devastation unseen in our little corner of the earth. Just before daylight, screams tore from St. Louis Cathedral. About a dozen robed figures were seen running after softly glowing lights that headed for the river. A dozen others were dragged out of the cathedral's great wooden doors by werewolves and a little gator child, and torn apart in the center circle of Jackson Square. All's quiet now as the sun is rising. And now for Sister Golden Hair. Surprise, Meri said in an angry undertone. And WINC continued. The sun is up and the sky is a serene shade of blue, just one cloud in the sky. No, that's not a cloud. It's moving closer to the cathedral, up from the river. It's a swarm of tiny blue butterflies, now almost covering the cathedral. The doors are shut, the windows closed. The butterflies beat their tiny wings against the stone. Now they swirl upwards in a vortex and dive into the building's chimneys. And now they've disappeared. Screams, 100 cries, ecstatic at first, and then agonized, growing weaker and weaker until the only sound on the wind are the gasps, as delicate as the butterfly's wings. And the DJ played Dio. Don't think about the darkness or the rumbling in the sky. Somewhere on the morning road just waiting for you. Some things that just could never be are calling up a spell so you can see. Dream evil, the dark that you find in the back of your dream. Dream evil, dream evil. Don't go to the edge of rainbows. Don't close your eyes. Like things that can't be real, the truth is only lies. You two should take it easy and rest up for tonight, Fobator said. We'll need you then. Meri leaned over to Fobator and kissed him lightly on the cheek. I want to be there, Fobator, like a nightmare, she said. I got to see. I want to feel it. Thank you, Meri, the Lord replied with a sad smile. You will. Come on, my little Lemmy. Follet slid his arm around her shoulder and led her to the staircase. Tell me all about Motorhead. They walked up the stairs, holding on to each other for support, and when they got to their room, Meri walked to the bed and threw herself onto it. Follet closed the door. Meri lay curled on the bed, facing away from Follet. He slid in behind her and buried his nose in her auburn hair. She snuggled back into him, and they lay spooned, Follet slowly clasping her shoulder with his hand. Follet held Meri closer and softly sang into her ear. Last night I had a wonderful dream about you, a dream about you. Last night I had a dream, hope that it will come true. Meri laughed and wriggled into Follet, and he sang more. Last night I had, and Meri sang in her lowest voice, shoo-bob, shoo-bob, before Follet continued with, a wonderful dream. And Meri replied, shoo-bob, shoo-bob, a wonderful dream. And they both sang, I dreamed I held you in my arms. You thrilled me with your charms. And they sat up and continued the doo-wop until the song was over. By that time they were both almost out of breath between singing and laughing. Follet placed his left hand on Mary's right shoulder and told her, "I've heard that there are certain places for kissing." Meri made a face and replied, "I've heard that too. The bed, the car, the floor, the kitchen table, the automobile lift in the garage, the deck of a sailboat." "No," Follet laughed. "The forehead, the eyes," and he kissed her there and there. "The throat," and he kissed her there. "The lips," and he kissed her there for a long time. And when the kiss finished, Meri said, "And the arms," and kissed Follet on his bicep, and then his elbow, and then his forearm, and the hands, and kissed him on each knuckle before turning over his hand to kiss his palm, running her tongue along his headline and his heart line, and finally his lifeline. Follet then said, "And the navel," moving his lips to caress her there. Meri said after a few minutes, "Follet, I think you missed a spot." Follet sat up and looked her straight in the eye. "Meri, I'm certain that I've kissed every spot. You must be mistaken." Meri pouted a little and pointed at the little place to the right of her mouth, where her upper lip met her lower lip. Follet moved his head closer to get a better look. He turned his head this way and that, and finally placed a tiny kiss in that tiny place. "Better?" he asked. Meri nodded, but then pointed to just below the middle of her lower lip and just above the middle of her chin. Follet examined this area as well and found that he had neglected it too. He kissed her softly and then hung his head, ashamed that he had neglected any part of her. Meri said softly, "Don't feel bad, Follet. We'll just practice until we get it right," and put her hand under his chin, lifting his mouth so that she could kiss him. It was quiet in the room for a while, but then it got a little louder.